In a 3-2 verdict, Supreme Court has refused to legally recognize same-sex marriages in India. Of the 5-judge Constitution bench, Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, and Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul advocated for the recognition of same-sex unions. While there was unanimity in not recognizing fundamental right to marry, there was another important judgment. Same-sex couples do not have the right to adopt children. There was also a 3-2 judgment against adoption rights of queer couples. Again, Chief Justice Chandrachud and Justice Kaul spoke up for the same-sex couples, saying that they should have the right to adopt children. Further, the 2 judges also argued that same-sex couples should have the right to adopt children. Justice S. Ravindra Bhatt, Hima Kohli, and P.S. Narasimha were in agreement that the regulations established by the Central Adoption Resource Authority are lawful and not invalid, contrary to what the Chief Justice of India had stated. So what was the CJI talking about when he said there is a need for anti-discrimination law to protect the rights of the LGBTQ+ community individuals? When it comes to adoption, the judges were divided over what is there and how it is interpreted and what should be there ideally. And it seems the Apex Court will only work within the parameters of the existing legislature. What does all of this mean? Does this mean the judgment is a step forward? Dr. Aloma Lobo, a paediatrician turned adoption expert, spoke her mind about the judgment.
Actually, as the judgment goes right now, I'm disappointed on various fronts, but at least it has brought to the forefront, the Chief Justice has brought to the forefront certain arguments for adoption by same-sex couples and that it was discriminatory. At the same time, it has allowed for discussion by the center, by the government, on social and legal rights of couples or of homosexual couples, even though they may not be allowed to marry. And the government has agreed that we will attend to that. But on a personal level, I'm very disappointed because I do feel that whether you are same-sex or whether you are heterosexual couples, you should have the same rights to adopt a child. Whereas a child, in the best interest of the child, of course, taking into account all the other parameters which CARA enforces for any couple to adopt. If all those parameters are satisfied, being same-sex or being heterosexual should not be an issue.
She also explains the CARA guidelines.
Till now, there were certain laws governing who could adopt in India, and that included married couples, single women, single men, according to the JJ Act. But some time ago, CARA passed a rule that same-sex couples cannot jointly adopt a child. Likewise, a single man could not adopt a girl child, whereas a single woman could adopt either a girl child or a boy child. No, there was no difference there.
Gayatri Abraham, founder of Padme Foundation, an adoption resource platform, explains what the existing law on adoption in India permits.
Single men and single women can adopt, and of course it is not allowing the queer community to adopt as a couple. I'm just wondering, right, whether it's again the reiteration of the decriminalization that happened today rather than actually anything wholesome that was offered. Did we actually move on? What was reiterated is also that trans and intersex people marrying as cis people, as adoption as single people is already existing.
Dr. Lobo, however, slightly disagrees and says this.
Looks like the government is going to set up a committee to look into the social and legal aspects of the rights of couples, of same-sex couples. And I think adoption will also come into that. And it should, because the Supreme Court has is not going to say anything about it anymore. So it's the center that has to change the law or change the rules concerned with the adoption by same-sex couples. Now, having said that, I think they call it it's certainly not a cultural issue. It's an issue which depends on whether people who belong to a same-sex relationship can or not adopt. If you take every parameter, they can adopt. And the arguments put forward by many people is it's not in the best interest of the child. And I think, being looked after by 2 people is better than being looked after by 1 person anyway. Whether it's a single relationship, a single person who's adopting, or a gay couple, or a couple that's jointly adopting. I mean, the child has more security there. But hopefully they're discussing the whole issue of social and legal benefits that gay couples should be up against, like wills, like joint accounts, like medical benefits, insurance. There was a conversation, at least. There was a conversation about what is really happening now. There was a recognition, these people do exist. Many people think there's only an elitist community. It is not. and there are issues concerned with them. And as we, as a community, do we not have a responsibility towards people who are so marginalized socially and legally? So if there's a conversation about it, it's a good start. A step in the right direction. It's a topic that was always shoved under the carpet. Nobody ever wanted to talk about it. The conversation, it will certainly be there, and people are going to talk about it. And that goes in like I said, it's a step in the right direction, but there will be a certain recognition, a sort of what shall I say, inclusivity of these people within the general community, which is how it should be.
And as Dr. Lobo said, at least there is movement, there is a conversation. Perhaps the committee that the union government will form, as it told the top court, it will examine the rights and benefits that can be given to queer couple, which will include changes to CARA's guidelines. I am Preeja Arvind, and thank you for watching India Today, SoSouth.